Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today I'm here to talk about my summer TBR. So, if you don't know, I don't do monthly TBRs anymore because I am 100% a mood reader. I start a lot of books, I don't finish them. That's just how it goes. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do TBRs anymore and I'm okay with that. But I do like to do a seasonal one every, you guessed it, season to kind of give you an overarching idea of what I plan to read over the next few months. So I've done one of these for winter, I've done them for spring, and now here we are at summer. So summer is usually when I read the most because I'm outside a lot. You know, kids are outside and so I have a little bit more free time. I say that, but every time I'm like, I'm not gonna have any free time with the summer. But you know what? I'm still gonna try. So with all of my TBR videos with seasonal, I always start with my new releases that I'm planning to read, that books that are coming out in the next few months that I would really like to read. And then I end with kind of backlist ones like that are on my cart that I've been meaning to read. Will I read all of these? Most definitely not. If I read a quarter of them, I will feel accomplished. And that is just how it goes here. Hello, we don't stick to TBRs here. I really, really don't. If I go back and look at my winter and spring one, I can guarantee you I didn't read most of them. That's how it goes. This is just an idea of what I want to read, and I'm sharing it with you, whether you enjoy it or not. I understand if you don't. So new releases, like I said, I just did my most anticipated summer releases, so there's a lot of them that I would really like to read this summer. First up, The Match by Sarah Adams. This is it's re-released, it's being published again, so I know it's already out, and I think it's on Kindle Unlimited, at least I hope so, but I don't know anything about that one. But Sarah Adams are just quick, fun, clean romances that I adore, and I think they're perfect for summer, so I definitely plan to read this one. We have The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. This is her newest one. I haven't loved her past two that she's released, so I'm interested to see how I'm gonna like this one. It's about a character that writes romantic comedies, and she gets to work with a writer who's writing a movie, and he thinks he's like a cynic, you know, and so I love that combination, so you can tell where the plot's gonna go. Hopefully I'll enjoy it. This one, I don't know, I'm iffy about. Then I have Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, her newest book. This is part of her is that right? Series where the characters work in the STEM field. So this one's about Rue, who works, I think she's a biotech engineer, and I think basically these two characters have some chemistry, but they also have like differentiating company, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher the new releases specifically with not knowing much about them. Sorry. Then of course we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This is his newest release. It's a mystery thriller. It's about a kid that goes missing way back in the day. Then the neighbor kid comes back home and things are starting to unravel. Might have some paranormal. I love Riley Sager, and I love that he releases them in the summer because I think they are perfect summer releases. That's just my opinion. I enjoy his books. Speaking of thrillers, we have The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. She is an author that is just very hit or miss for me. The only book that I've read of hers that I've truly loved is The Guest List. I love that one. Every book of hers I've read since, I haven't been the biggest thing. This one I think is very much, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which I adore, so I'm hoping that this won't be good. Otherwise, I don't know. Sometimes if I've read a certain amount of thrillers or a certain amount of books by an author, and I've only like one out of like 6, I'm like, maybe this author isn't for me. And that's just maybe the case for Lucy Foley. I'm not quite sure yet. Ashley Poston's newest book, a novel love story. This one's all about a character that loves this book series and wish she could live in it. And then she goes to this town and gets stranded. And it's the town from her book series. It's like kind of Once Upon a Time, if you will. I love Ashley Poston books. Both of her books I've read, I've loved, 5 out of 5. So it's going to be very whimsical and romantic and cute with some like fantastical elements in there, and I'm really excited for it. Then we have Love Letters to a Serial Killer. I forget who this is by. This one is just very interesting to me. It's basically about this woman who writes letters to, you guessed it, a serial killer. And then he gets out on parole early and he moves in with her, and she's deciding to like solve his case. And it's like, what are you thinking? Like literally, what are you thinking? I want to read it to figure out what she's thinking. Like, what? Then we have Business Casual by B.K. Boris, and this is is it the 4th book in the Love Light Farm series? I still have not read the 2nd book, but I've read the 1st and 3rd and really enjoyed it. This one follows the brother from the 1st book. the main characters in the first book. That, oh gosh, I'm butchering this, but either way, it's interesting. I think it's the brother from the main character in the first book and the sister from the main character in the second book. Is that confusing? Yes. I'm sorry. Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. If you don't know, The Wishing Game by her last year was my favorite book of the year. It was very Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This one is very much inspired by The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I love. So I don't know much about it other than that it's inspired by that, and that's all I want to know. I think her books are just beautiful and things like, I just loved The Wishing Game so much, and I hope it has that heartfelt, whimsical feel to it like the last one did. So, oh, I'm so excited for this one, and I really have a lot of expectations for it. Hopefully they will be met, if not surpassed. And the last book I have on my new release list that I would really like to get to is The Chamber by Will Dean. If you don't know, he wrote the last one last year, which I loved. It was a total woman to read for me, and it was a mystery thriller, and it was freaking cuckoo bananas. And this one sounds the same. It's about divers that are stuck in a hyperbolic chamber, and as someone that struggles with claustrophobic and with also scared of the ocean, it sounds like it's going to be a heart-pounding novel, and his books are just freaking addicting. I say that, and I've only read one, but I'm really excited for this one because, like, I loved the last one, and nobody ever talks about it, but I thoroughly loved it. Moving on to my backlist books, I have my handy dandy, I don't know why I said that, I'm not Blue's Clues, not Steve, book cart here that I would like to read some books out of. I would like to accomplish that. That's always the goal here. First up, we have Wildfire. That was probably on my spring TBR, but it's coming into my summer TBR. Hello. Hopefully you won't be here anymore. This is by Hannah Grace. She also wrote Icebreaker, which I didn't love, which is probably the reason why I haven't read this one. But this one takes place in a summer camp. So that's why I'm putting it on my summer TBR. Oh my gosh, who would have thought? Who would have thought reading a summer camp book in summer would be a good thing to do? I don't know. And then we also have some thrillers. I want to try to get back into thrillers because I haven't been reading much of them this year. The Maid's Diary by Lorith Ann White. So I'm sure you've heard about The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I want to see if this one's better because I think Frida McFadden books aren't just for me because her writing is just not it for me. So I'm hoping to really like this one. We'll see. Then I would also like to read the last and final book in the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver, and that one is called Hopeless. I've read all of the other ones and I have favorites, and I really would like to do a ranking video of my favorites versus my least favorite and things like that. And so I want to finish the series because I do really enjoy it. This one I think is Beau's story, who is the last brother of the Eaton, so I'm excited for it. Also apprehensive because I feel like we don't know him at all. Then I would also like to read her newest release, which was probably on my spring TBR as well. Hello, welcome to the summer one. Wild Love. This is like a billionaire that falls in love with like his best friend's little sister. I don't know. That sounds amazing. Elsie Silver writes some long books, but you can quickly fly through them. Like, this is 450 pages. That's bananas, but I'm excited for it. A Western. That's very summery. Let's do another Western while we're here. Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is a sequel to Done and Dusted. This one I'm not looking forward to a ton. The one I'm looking forward to is the one coming out this fall. That one I think everyone is really excited for because it's enemies to lovers. But I want to read this one. It's short. It's sweet. Westerns. Let's do it for the summer. Let's do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm pep talking myself in front of you. I also like to read Powerless because I said this year I was going to read romantasy, but I had read like one, maybe, if that. This is like a YA fantasy. I've heard it compared to like Hunger Games / maybe Divergent. I don't know. When I hear that, I'll read it. I'll buy it. So I want to see what the hype is about it. If it's good, if it's not, I don't know. Also, any Maria Zapata book. I need to read one. I haven't read one this year, and I'm ashamed of myself because if you guys know, I love The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and I really enjoyed All Roads Lead Here. I still need to read From Luke All with Love. I still need to read Culty. I need to read one of her books. Any one of them will do. That's why I'm putting it on a list. And then, I don't know from there. There's some books that I could read that maybe, I mean, there's This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, but her book last year really just pissed me off, so I don't know if I'll read this one. That sounds horrible to say, but, you know, it is what it is. It happens, okay? I also have Betting on You by Lynn Painter. This is her YA one that I tried reading last year, but could not get into it, so I'm maybe reattempting it this year because I seem to really enjoy her YA contemporaries over her adult romances, so I don't know. I think when I think about YA, I gravitate it toward most in the summertime. I think it's just, I love a good summary YA book. I just really do. Any other books? I mean, I still need to read Iron Flame. It's still here, guys. And so is freaking both the books in the Crescent City series. Will I read them this summer? Probably not. Just gonna be straight with you. Probably not. Don't feel like it. It is what it is. Any other ones that I would like to read? There's so many. Forget Me Not by Julie Soto I'd like to read. What other ones are there? There's so many. I don't know. We're just going to have to wing it. That's what this whole thing is. So I gave you a good list, I think, like a good amount of them. Will I read half of them? I don't know. I don't know. My reading this year has just been a wild card. That's the best way I would describe it, because of things going on in my personal life, and that translates into my reading and it affects it. That's how it goes. You're reading this summer, are you reading a lot of romances, contemporaries, thrillers, fantasy? What is your preferred genre in the summertime? For me, I like reading a lot of thrillers because it stays light later, so I don't get scared as much. No, that's stupid, but it works for me. And I like to read a lot of romance because I like to read a lot of romance for every single month of the year. Just how I am. But I would love to know what you plan to read. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.